Welcome everybody to We Are Bitcoin! Today I'm gonna tell you about what's happening in my home country of Argentina. The Minister of Economics quit after facing heavy criticism. It is not news for everyone that the financial situation over there is not the best. Inflation has always been an issue, and now, more than ever, it's causing people to panic as their savings are losing purchasing power day by day. The conversion rate of the peso, which used to be 1-to-1 against the American dollar when I was young, has reached all-time highs surrounding the 130 pesos per $1. This sounds incredible, but it is not all. Because the local government wants to give the impression of stability to the outside world, the amount of dollars any citizen can exchange with the pesos is extremely limited and very highly regulated. One needs to show a lot of documentation to prove where his funds are coming from, and only a small percentage of your paycheck can be exchanged every month. These, amongst other things, show us that the conversion rate the government offers is not real. It is only there for them to pretend that they have things under control. There is a phenomenon called cuevas or caves. These caves offer anyone the ability to buy and sell dollars at will, providing a premium for their services. It is popularly known as the dollar blue. There is an entire industry dedicated to this labor. The exchange rate you can get in these caves are of over 330 pesos per dollar. That is 200 pesos more than the official numbers, more than double. This is what happens when government gets their hands on currency. What they offer is not real. The restrictions they implement leave many people out, who in return have no other choice but to go to the black markets and acquire dollar blue on a premium. Those lucky enough to earn in dollars or have their accounts in offshore banks profit massively from this, without the need to add productivity to the economy. I believe we need to understand this type of situation so that we can be aware of why technologies like Bitcoin are so important. Money away from the government, the first truly public infrastructure for sending and receiving value around the world. However, not too many people in the Bitcoin space care to admit a few things. Firstly, Bitcoin's volatility makes it harder to adopt for many people, especially those living in places like Argentina, living day to day. They need a way to save in dollar terms, at least for the short and the medium term. They need to know that tomorrow their purchasing power won't suddenly get cut. I am a firm believer of Bitcoin in the long term. I devote my life working for this future, even with little pay. But I have lived in places like this, and I know that many people over there simply cannot tolerate the volatility in the short term. It is absolutely no wonder to me whatsoever to see the level of adoption of stablecoins growing massively. It is precisely what I would expect to happen in those places. I've been speaking to many Bitcoiners in the space who dislike this, as they believe Bitcoin is the only asset one should ever hold. Usually, it has been my experience that only people on stable economic environments have the luxury of thinking like this. Most of the world simply cannot afford to have this mentality. It is the reason why I want to change the conversation from whether or not stablecoins are good or should happen, but rather, how can we create stablecoins for Bitcoiners, and how can we make them run on Bitcoin? This is where I would like to introduce you all to the DOC, the Dollar On-Chain, created by an Argentinian team precisely for this purpose. The DOC is a token that always remains 1-to-1 with the American dollar, which is fully backed 100% only with Bitcoin. This means that the underlying asset used as collateral, it's the most decentralized and secure asset the world has ever seen. One that simply cannot be confiscated or stopped. To me, it's incredible that something like this can actually exist. The project that issued this token is called Money on Chain. Launched in 2019, it has already gone through bear markets and has never lost its 1-to-1 peg. Even through the recent crash, it has continued to operate flawlessly, which has filled me with confidence and excitement for this technology. Many places like Argentina and like Africa are starting to adopt it as a real solution for real people with real problems. The protocol itself runs on rootstock, which is what allows these kind of protocols to be deployed on Bitcoin. Rootstock's blockchain is mined by the Bitcoin miners, the biggest and most powerful computing network in the entire world. This makes it the safest smart contract protocol out there, even more than Ethereum by a large margin. All the fees that one pays while using rootstock get paid to the Bitcoin miners, which makes mining Bitcoin more profitable. This incentivizes miners to join, making the network harder to attack. It is my personal belief that the Bitcoin community should take a closer look at rootstock and everything that's been built on it. With the DOC, we can onboard a massive set of new users, get them away from their depreciating fiat currencies, offer them a better solution than the centralized stablecoins like USDT and USDC, and get them one step closer to owning Bitcoin. Stablecoin technology is not going away anytime soon. There is a desperate need for it, one that will only increase with the macroeconomic landscape we are currently entering. Having all that activity backed by Bitcoin while having all the fees paid to the Bitcoin miners, it's a no-brainer. I urge the community to let go of their biases and preconceptions, to help us get awareness of rootstock and money on chain to those who need it, to show them there's a way out through Bitcoin, and ultimately build a better world together. That is all I have to say today. I apologize for the unusually long episode. As an Argentinian that had to leave his home country due to the lack of financial opportunities, this topic speaks straight to my heart, and I cannot stand idly by anymore, while a lot of the Bitcoin community cannot understand the plight of those living in such conditions, those who need a stablecoin to survive and thrive. I hope with this video I can play my little part and hopefully move the conversation to a place that is more productive for everyone. Please feel free to get in touch with me. You can use my website wearebitcoin.world. There you can now schedule video calls with me one-on-one. I have added a link to my personal calendar, and I'm always open to talk, teach, answer questions, or hear suggestions from you. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you all in the next one.